Hey, good to see you. Glad you could be here. I went to something that most men don't go to. I don't think most men. Well, when I went to it, I realized it's mostly old women. When I say old, I live in a over 55 community where the average age is probably over 75. I'm 73, so I'm just a youngster around here. Anyway, my wife makes jewelry, so like this one right here, and then like these right here. She does a great job. She does all kinds of stuff. And anyway, she sells it at crafts fairs. Craft fairs. This is the second one we've been to. I go with her to make sure that well, just to help her if I can. But the last thing I want to do is talk to anybody about anything. So she makes a sale and she just hands me the money and tells me how much change she needs. And so I give it to her, and then I go back to staring at my cell phone. And I wear my what do you call it, surgeon's mask, whatever you call those masks where everybody started wearing in COVID. I've been wearing them since the early middle 90s when I found out that was why I was getting sick every time I flew. I'd catch a cold, or every time I got on an airplane. By the second day of being wherever I got, I was sick. And I learned it from Asian people coming into the airport. I used to work at the airport, and they'd be wearing these masks. This is a long time before COVID. This is in the 90s. And finally asked one, I said, why do you wear the mask? Why does everybody from Asia wear a mask? She says, well, they had a terrible flu, which was like our COVID, except it was killing them off at a really incredible rate. So they wear them all the time. They don't go anywhere without them. And then she said, I normally get sick on airplanes anyway. And I go, whoa, that made sense. So I started wearing them when we went flying, and it worked. And then I didn't wear it one time, and I got barotrauma. And that's something like blows up your head. I was off work for a month. And so I don't fly anymore. That was too painful. Anyway, I still wear the mask. I wore them all the time. And when I did start wearing them flying, this is before before planes were crowded. So, but for some reason, people wanted to sit next to me, and so I wear that mask. Nobody wanted to sit next to me. And then I remember walking into one of our clinics at our HMO one time when I was wearing the mask, and the lady at the receptionist said, well, "Thank you for being concerned about our patients here." And I go, "I'm not sick, and I'm wearing the mask to not get sick. So just don't thank me. Tell them to start wearing masks and quit giving people sicknesses." Anyway, worked out fine for me a long time. Where was I? Yeah, I was wearing one of those masks there, so I probably looked the sight. My wife puts up with me anyway. So it was pretty good. She sold quite a few things. This is amazing. There was like 1,500 homes in this community, and there was so many people in there. I didn't know that many people lived here. I started thinking about, well, if they had at least one person from every home, but of course they didn't. I'd say there was probably 200 people selling crafts, and they were beautiful. Some things were just absolutely amazing. A lot of women had made uh, little costumes for dolls and cozies for wine bottles and things like that. All of them looked professional. There were some guys selling that had pictures and some kind of little. I think they're meant for like being around a Christmas tree or some little log cabins and things. I didn't get too much of it. I was kind of hiding, trying to avoid having to talk to anybody. But we made it. So anyway, all this stuff needs to be put away tomorrow. So we're keeping it covered up here so it doesn't get any Bob grunge on it, because this is my neck of the woods. My tool bench is right over there. My pile of junk's right over there. I got some more of my garbage up there. I got to clean this place up. My wife's really good at this, and I wanted to bring that up. One of the biggest things that happens to people, especially when they retire, is they kind of just shrivel up and die. They don't have to. The thing I've learned from the great masters, and for having an itch to never want to quit, but you got to create all the time, whether it's creating a new cooking dish or uh, a book or a short story or a dumb poem or silly poems. That's what I call them. Not necessarily dumb. Well, they're kind of dumb. Anyway, um, whatever it is, create stuff. My wife creates jewelry. It's amazing. It's just, I wish I could do that, but I'd rather not have to sell it to a bunch of women. I mean, it was a very nice group of people, and the women very much liked this stuff. I didn't see any guys. Very few men came through, and they were usually like on a leash, and their wife was dragging them through. But it was fine. They bought a lot of stuff, and it was truly an experience. And that's my message for the day: is to create, do something. The, Watching TV is not creating, unless you sit down and write a review about everything you watched. Now, I say that because I just watched the 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 third season of Reacher. It's on Prime, and it's about a guy that kind of I don't know if he washed out of the military or something, but he left the military and he has escapades of his own. If you're old enough to remember, then King Bronson was going across the country on a motorcycle, and there was several of those. Route 66, what was it? Was that the name of the show? I think it was. Just moving across the country and stuff like that. Well, anyway, Reacher's kind of like that, but he doesn't have a motorcycle or anything. He just uh, shows up in different places and gets wrapped up into local problems with usually a whole bunch of bad guys, and he straightens them all up, makes them nice and straight for their coffin, basically. And boy, does he kill a lot of people. Anyway, this one was it got a little tedious for me because I kept waiting for it to end, and then I found out it was 8 episodes. I thought I was watching like maybe 2, 3 episodes, and then I finally looked at it after the third one. I said, "How many are there?" And it turned out there was 8. So saw the whole thing tonight. It's over. I don't have to do that again for a long time, but it was good. I would watch a new one. I wouldn't rewatch this one, but the first one I watched a couple of years ago, and it got a little bit too graphic for me, so I quit watching it. This wasn't as awful as that was in my memory, but I might go back and try to see that one again. All right, I think that's all I got for you. I'm very tired from having been at the craft fair all day and trying to pretend that I was happy to be there. I was happy to be there, support my wife, bless them all for being such good creators and living a vibrant retirement here in the Happy Meadows, whatever the name of this place is. It's on the sign out front. Anyway, talk to you later. Have a good one.